With Tillit as your digital operations system, you will see a lot of your production process being mapped. From a manufacturing process perspective, the workflow of the tasks that an operator goes through as they produce goods. So everything runs against an order. An order has equipment and assets that they will start to execute and track material, track quality checks, track any movement. So the next level is when you get that digital operations layer tied and connected to your control system layer, your machines. So how can we exchange information in a real-time manner between what the machines are doing and what the people are doing, and it's really useful to have that going both ways. So if a machine stops, I want the operations system to know that, so we can have a task for the operator to give a reason why it stopped. If the operator finishes an important step of the process, we want the control system to know that, so that they can perform any action. So I want to show you why we picked Ignition as a way to deliver that tight integration, and why we decided to build this module and give to the user that power of the workflow engine against the control system. So here's the Tillit architecture and how different components fit together. So on the top left, we have the ERP and the supply chain planning side. So we're expecting a system to be able to do all the forecasting and planning production. So that is getting sent to Tillit as planned orders, which gets first scheduled and then released to digital operations, where we'll execute that order and run all the workflow for each order, record downtime, obviously have as a consequence paperless quality, and track and trace. So as things happen, there is a constant message back and forth between Tillit and the control system. So whether it's PLC, SCADA, a UNS, or IoT sensors. So that control system layer is sending to Tillit time series and progress of the orders and events, and Tillit is sending back also Tillit events, the order that's running, and any event, any activity submission. Let's jump to the demo to look at that. What we will do now is download and install the Tillit Ignition Module. While that happens, we'll jump into the Tillit screen and head to Edge connectivity, create that Edge as an IoT connection and save that, and then we'll download the resources. Great. Now we can go back and finish the installation of the module. Head to the settings of the module, where we're gonna need this ID, this Tillit Edge key. So here we'll type in the company account, the environment if it's production or development, and my credentials to do any API call. We'll add in the private and certificate. Great, that's done. Now Ignition is connected to Tillit. We'll see that in a second when we open up the designer. So in the background, Ignition has loaded that module, and what the module does the first time it runs is introspect the Tillit settings in the cloud, and you'll see it building up a tech provider for us. Here's our tech provider, Tillit, and we'll see dairy as our enterprise level. Here's your site level and all your lines. You use packing line A and packing line B. So now back to Tillit. We'll see what happens when we start an order. So we'll go to packing line A. So now what's just happened is that order was downloaded to Ignition automatically into this running order tab. Includes all the detail of the order, including the material and any attribute of that order. Things like set points and the characteristics. Basically anything in Tillit, you generate an event. So what you want to do is create a notification for that event, which we'll do here. The endpoint is really the tag address that you'll see in Ignition. And now we select the events that we want to track. So you can select events, and if the event is of the category activity, you'll be able to filter which activity are you talking about, so you're not sending all the activities. So now that is in place, we can go back to Tillit and submit one of those activities. So when you go back to Ignition, what we have is a new tag there called event. And now we'll see the activity there. So what is the activity that got submitted? What are the items inside that activity? And any information you want to send down to Ignition. Finally, we're going to demonstrate what the write side of this means, which means writing to Tillit in this case. So this is the case for us to be able to track asset states and product counts. So here we'll start setting. Let's imagine that we have no product counts, but the asset is running. So when we jump to Tillit, now we see that the asset is running. It's been running for a little bit. And now we'll just add some product counts there. And we'll wait a second. So with these counts, we drive calculations of run rates, OE, and all that. Now that we know how to send asset states and product counts for all the OE calculation, I'll just show how we could add even more to this integration. A lot of things you can do in Tillit, you can do via API calls, but with the module, all these APIs are converted into scripts that are type completed and documented. So now you can simply type tillit.core.order, start an order or cancel an order, and perform essentially any action you can do on the UI or via API. This concludes the video, and it's a high-level view of what can be accomplished using the Ignition module and the kind of integration that we can have from the control system up to the MES in the cloud. Thanks.